Hi guys, this is Mr. Mark, and this is Chatting Safely Online. This is another in the series of digital citizenship lessons that we're studying lately. We studied finding balance in a digital world, don't be the fish, and who are you online? And this is next lesson, the one we're doing now, is how do you chat safely with people you meet online? I created a worksheet for you to take notes with as the presentation continues on. So let's look at that worksheet now. Let's see, chatting safely online. So how do you chat safely with people you meet online? Games and social media and other online spaces give kids opportunities to meet and chat with others outside the confines of their real-life communities. But how well do kids actually know the people they're meeting and interacting with? So students will consider whom they're talking to and the types of information they're sharing online. Okay, so let's kind of start the presentation real quick. So, chatting safely online. So the essential question is, how do you chat safely with people you meet online? And analyze how well I know the people I interact with online. Reflect what information is safe to share with different types of online friends. And learn to recognize red flag feelings and how to respond to them. Now at this point I want you to watch a movie, but pull out the chatting safe worksheet that we saw before, and I want you to answer two questions while you watch this movie. So let's roll it up here. It says watch the video, and as you watch the video, answer the following questions. What are some of the benefits and risks of talking with people online that you don't know face to face? And then just put the benefits in one column and the risk in the other column. And then what's one comment in the video that you agree with and why? Okay, so go ahead and stop this part of the video right now and go ahead and watch the other part of the video. In fact, I'll just put it in right about here.
There are a lot of people out there who aren't who they say they are, in small ways and big ways.
I think it is totally fine for someone to become friends with someone online, but you have to be very, very careful.
You know, they're thinking over their text and their pictures could be fake.
On social media, you can talk to people, but you can't really get your emotion across.
Talking to strangers online, it's 50-50.
Some of the benefits of online relationships, it's definitely easier to interact and talk to people because you're thinking about what you're saying and you just are more comfortable.
Right, so some of the greatest parts about having a friendship with someone online is that they're easily accessible. You can just text them, be like, hey, what's up? You can have that sort of immediate connection all the time.
If you are in a smaller community, becoming friends with someone online allows you to become friends with someone who has a similar interests as you, and you can have a really good friendship with someone.
I really do enjoy playing video games. Connecting with other people, whether they're strangers or if I'm playing with my friends and talking to them and doing something together. I think that that's really fun, that we can all enjoy the same thing.
You don't feel like you actually have to deal with this person. So if they don't like what you're saying, they can leave. And if you don't like what they're saying, you can leave.
Sometimes having conversations can just be they can make you sort of anxious. When you're online, you're behind the screen. It'll make it easier for them to say things that they want to say, that they might not say in real life.
There is a very significant difference between a real friendship and an online friendship. That's not to say that your online friendships aren't real, it's just that they're different.
There's something called IBF, so Internet Best Friends, and basically they text and they become best friends, but they haven't met them in real life.
I felt a lot of genuine trust between the people that I talked to online because they were really close friends of my close friends. It's just, I think trust is the main thing.
So I have become friends with people who are friends of friends, or I know through other people. I'll add them on, Instagram or Snapchat, whatever it is I'm using. And maybe I'll just say hi or just start a conversation.
There's things that you can tell people online that you can't tell people in real life. At the same time, you have to know how to be safe, right?
I would say I'm more comfortable talking face to face because on social media, you can talk to people, but like it's hard to like communicate like a sense of realness and like emotions.
If the person is a total stranger to you, they may have an alternative motive trying to get other information out of you.
They might be pretending to be somebody that they're not. They might be using you for something.
Like, please don't tell people online your full name or where you live.
You don't actually know who they really are, and you need to be sure that they're okay.
I think a lot of people assume that because you have a friend online and they're kind of not always in your day-to-day and you can choose and edit what you say to them, that it's always going to be good. But it's still a relationship. It's still two people. And you're giving them a lot of information about yourself.
Okay, by now you should have answered those 2 questions with the video. What are some of the benefits and some of the risks that you have of talking with people online that you don't know face to face? And what's one comment in the video that you agree with and why? Okay, so now think about who you interact with online using devices and apps and write them into the table. There's a handout that we got for your online community. So think about who you interact with online and using devices and apps and write them into the table below. For example, your best friend. I've known her since 3rd grade, and when we started in the same track team, we text with each other all the time and face-to-face sometimes. Fill out some people there that you have on your list that you can think of. Let's see what the worksheet says. Question 2. How well, when you finish the handout, look back at the Chatting Safe worksheet. Go to question 2. How well do you know the people on your list? What criteria do you use to determine if you know someone well or not? Try to answer those questions briefly. Now that you got your online community filled out, go ahead and look at the bottom of the table. Do you know them well? For example, let's look at the presentation. How often do you see them? How long have you known them? Add some criteria to the bottom of the page about how well you've known somebody. It doesn't need to be a lot at this point. 1 or 2 are fine. Think about whom you interact with online using your devices and app. When you've already filled out your online community student handout, make sure you submit the handout to your Google Classroom. So question number 2, how well do you know the people on your list? Give me a general idea of your knowledge of the people on your list. Do you know everybody well? Do you know some of them well and others you just added to be nice? Go ahead and fill that part out. Question 3, what criteria? Criteria means what rules do you use to determine if you know someone well or not very much at all? What is your criteria for putting them on your list? In question 4, I want you to speculate. Why do you think you should consider how well you know someone you met online before sharing something with them? What criteria do you use before you get personal? Sharing online with someone you don't know well can be risky, especially if you don't know them in person. It's harder to predict what they might do with the information you share, whom they might share it with, or how they might use it. And it may be easier for them to do something harmful with it because it's harder to hold them accountable. For that reason, they should never share information without the permission of a trusted adult. Private information is information about you that can be used to identify you because it's unique just to you, like your full name, your student ID, your phone number, and your physical address. Question 5. Define risky and give an example of online risky behavior. And question number 5 also, define and give an example of private information. We just mentioned that. Go ahead and look at it again and then write it down here. Now we have another handout I want you to do. It's called Sarah's Chats Student Handout. In Google Classroom is Sarah's Student Handout. Sarah's Chat Student Handout. Complete the handout and attach it to this assignment in Google Classroom. Name the assignment CS&DL, grade 6, last name, first name, semester 2, and Sarah's Chats. The rules for this assignment is read Sarah's Chats. As you read, underline the way Sarah came into contact with each person. Highlight the information that Sarah shares with each person. Pretty simple rules. Let's look at the definition of risky real quick. Risky is potentially harmful to one's emotional or physical well-being. If something online might be harmful to how you feel, or if it might actually hurt you in some way, then that's risky behavior, and you probably shouldn't be doing it. Private information is information about you that can be used to identify you because it's unique to you, such as your phone number or your full name or where you live, your address. So here is the part where we're going to read about Sarah's chat. This is another worksheet. As you read, underline the way Sarah came into contact with the person, and then highlight the information that Sarah shares with each person. Let's find Sarah's chat. Here it is. Sarah's chat. Read Sarah's chat and underline the way Sarah came into contact with each person. Then highlight the information that Sarah shares with each person. Then identify the actions that might cause the red flag feelings and complete the table. For now, just do underline and highlight. We'll get to the red flags later. In our Chatting Safe worksheet, question number 6. Which of these friendships are more risky to Sarah? Acel or Alex_East-West13? And why are these relationships risky to Sarah? Fill that out here in the box. Now let's talk about red flag feelings. In addition to considering how well you know an online friend, you also need to be alert anytime you're communicating in an online setting. Have you ever had an uncomfortable or awkward interaction with someone online? Point out that these types of interactions are always the result of doing something. Now we're going to talk about red flag feelings. In addition to considering how well you know your online friend, you also need to be alert for any time you're communicating in an online setting. Have you ever had an uncomfortable or awkward interaction with someone online? These types of interactions are often the result of someone doing or saying something inappropriate or not okay. Inappropriate, that's a big word. Let's look at it. Inappropriate means not acceptable in the situation. It's not okay. If somebody does something inappropriate, it usually makes you feel awkward at best, and sometimes it actually offends you and causes you to feel upset. Inappropriate behavior and speech online can lead to risky and unsafe situations. These types of situations may cause red flag feelings for you. A red flag feeling is a warning of a possible problem. It's often a feeling in your stomach that something is wrong. Like this person shouldn't be asking me this, or this feels like something I shouldn't be doing. So for question 7, define inappropriate again, and give an example of an inappropriate online behavior. Maybe you imagine it, or it really happened. Up to you. Now define red flag feeling, and share what you think a red flag feeling might feel like, either from your imagination or personal experience. It's up to you. Question 8. When you have a red flag feeling, it's important to slow down, pause, and think about the situation. Some people use the acronym FIRE, F-I-R-E. What does that mean? Well, let's look at our slide presentation real quick. FIRE means to slow down, pause, remember, fire. The F stands for feel. Take the pulse of your emotions. Are you feeling sad or anxious, jealous or excluded? Just plain uncomfortable? If not, what emotion captures how you feel? The I stands for identify. Think about what caused you to have this feeling. What happened? Was it something you or someone else said or did? Reflect. Consider possible responses. What choices or actions available to you? What are the benefits and the drawbacks for you and for others for each step you might take? And then enact. Take steps to act. How can you move forward to address the situation in a way that feels positive and productive for you and for others? And if you feel a bit shy about doing it, talk to an adult, a teacher, or a trusted friend. Ask them to help you through this. Nobody has to do this alone. So, now that we've finished question 8 and fire, feel, identify, reflect, and enact, return to Sarah's chat handout. Sarah's chat student handout. Let's stop recording. So now let's return to Sarah's chat student handout. Identify the red flag moment in each scenario by putting brackets or drawing a box around it. Then complete the table at the bottom of the handout. One more thing. I want to talk about ways to respond. When you do respond, and everybody should respond, these are different ways you can try. Change the subject, make a joke, or say, I don't want to talk about this. Or just log off and quit the conversation. Unfriend the person or block them. Create a new account, or report the other user. Never plan a face-to-face meeting with someone you do not know unless you take along a parent or guardian. Ask a trusted adult for advice or help if you feel unsure or uncomfortable in any situation. So, that's about it. How will you use what you learned today in your own friendships online? If you could give Sarah one piece of advice for her online friendships, what would it be? That could be a bonus question. That's all from now. Thanks for trying. Bye-bye.